Hey guys, DJ Lovedrop here. I'm here to bring you a PvP guide that will carry on to the next patch on June 20th. This guide is based on a new build that I haven't seen anyone else really run. I've seen a few people run it, a few friends on my friends list, and one or two randoms. The build isn't like the other builds on forums where you get your 4 set and you use your dailies to reduce your cooldowns or reduce damage taken, and like you have like 25,000 health. This build is different. The whole build on this one is to have a ton of health, like a ton. Like I have 36.7 thousand health, right? And then you want a lot of defense and a lot of deflection. And then of course your armor class will be higher. If you want, you can actually use Weapon Master right there, sorry. And what this does, it gives you more armor classes, so it gives you 5 more. And then deflection gives you 44%, and your damage resistance is 42%. The reason for it is you want to be really tanky. You want to take like no damage. The reason for it is you're like, well, if I have all tank and I don't do any damage, how am I going to kill anyone? The whole point is to get Tenebrous, greater Tenebrous enchantments in all your slots and offensive slots. So you can have up to 7. You have in your sword, your offhand, neck, rings. You have to get the Valiant Belt of Vitality, which will give you an offensive slot in your belt. That will give you one in your belt, and then one into your shirt. That will give you all Tenebrous. Now Tenebrous, when they activate, it is all separate activations. So like each Tenebrous can proc at once if they want to, or they'll proc at like every other one, or they have their own global cooldown of 7 seconds. So you have a chance when you swing, as you'll see, I'll swing once, and there you go. So you have 4,000, but I have also 1,000, 1100s. So 4 of them procced at once for the 4,000. While then 2 other ones proc till later. So they still proc, like they have their own proc rate, but they don't stack as in if one procs they all proc, if you know what I'm saying. The whole point is to get maximum health. Like that's the main stat. Defense is not your main stat, deflex is not your main stat, health. This is the best gear you can have. Best gear. Reason for it is people will sell all this gear for cheap because they don't understand like how valuable it actually is. The reason why you don't have the 2 set here, because I use Titans and people use the Scrappers or PvP set to get the extra 1800. Well, if you look at the chest, it gives you 1400 hit points, and then you look at the helm, it gives you 900. So that's actually giving you 2300 hit points instead of 16. So you're gaining an extra 700 hit points, then you add the constitution factor, and then you add in the toughness and your feats. That give you 9% more health. So you're actually adding like almost 1,000 extra health, which adds on to your Tenebrous. And then you want the Titan set, you want the bracers and the feet. This will give you 1800, and then it gives you a lot of defense and deflection. Tons. And then you're going to want Reaver Edge, the sword. The reason for it is because it gives you 900 hit points from just the Reaver Edge sword itself. Then you're going to want the Knot of Imposing Scrapper for the defense, of course, defense deflection. Then it also gives you an offensive slot. Cloak of the Volcano gives you 668 hit points. A little bit of deflection. Recovery is whatever. You don't really care too much about recovery. But it gives you all that health. Then you come down to the rings. You want Ancient Fugitives Ring of Revolt, which gives you power and deflection. Power is okay. It helps a little bit, sure. But deflection is the main stat you want with it, plus the offensive slot and the hit points for both. The Belt of Vitality. There's defense. There's one. I think there's a belt out there for like 440. I haven't found anything higher than 440. I really don't want to spend a lot, like an extra like 700 Astral Diamonds on 40 extra health. That's not a huge difference. It's like maybe 7 damage total. And then of course your shirt and your pants. And you want Tenebrous and all that. On your utility, you're gonna want dark. I have low dark ranks because I don't really play too much on this character. I only play it when I'm bored and want a PvP. But you want, for utility, you're going to want dark enchantments. For armor enchantment, you're going to want Lesser Soul Forge, because 25% of your health is actually 9,000 health, so you have a really good chance to proc it. Because you can't be CC'd or knocked down. You have to be like normal time, and then it'll proc. If you're any type of CC'd, the enchantment won't proc. Then you want to come down. You want to have the greater. You want greater Plague Fire. I only have lesser because I was too poor to buy it. But you want the greater. Even though they're nerfing it, I would say greater Plague Fire or when the patch comes out, go with Greater Bile Thorn for the poison. That'll probably be a better version of it because you can't stack Greater Plague Fire anymore. So either that or you're gonna want Bile Thorn. Depends on how bad the nerf is for the Greater Plague Fire. We'll find out when it happens. Defensive slots, of course, you're gonna want Radiant. Radiant gives you health. I only have rank 5, but if you can get up there, like I think a rank 9 gives you 1,080 health, which is huge. That would actually increase my health by 1,200, which would increase it to almost 38,000 health. Also, what makes this a really good build, right? So far, we're already strong with our Unstoppable. If you go to powers, you're Unstoppable, right? While active, you are immune to control effects. Your wills do much faster, but slightly weaker. I mean, more damage. Like your attacks are much faster, but slightly weaker, and you resist 25 to 50% incoming damage based on how much determination you had. Now, determination, when they say 25 to 50%, some people don't understand. Right here is not 50%. This is where you can activate it. From here to here is 25 to 50%. So right about halfway it'd be about 40%, about 38 to 40%. Then this would be 50%. So 25% to 50. Okay. So that's what you're trying to aim for. Now with the next patch coming out, what they're doing is now some slows you will not be able to get out of with it, because right now if any slows, any type of anything you can if you use Unstoppable, you'll get out of it. There's certain slows now that won't let you get out of it, but you're going to keep the damage reduction, and now you're going to gain 10 to 20% of your maximum health as temporary hit points. What that makes it is you're going to take almost no damage. You're going to take, like, all the damage you're going to take is going to be into your temporary hit points. So therefore you won't take any damage, which will then keep your health up, so your Tenebris will proc more and more and more. That's just gonna make it more strong, because you almost have your Unstoppable every single time. So not only do you have to go through 30, when I have my gear of 38,000 health, every time you use Unstoppable, they're gonna have to go through those temporary hit points to get back to my regular health, while I'm already taking no damage because my defense is so high, and deflect, if my deflect procs to take 50% less damage than you're gonna give me. It's just, the stats on it is just amazing. And of course, the best spec for it, you want to go Halfling. And then ability points, you're going to want to go high defense, high constitution and high dexterity. Dexterity for the deflection chance, and then constitution for the health. That's like the two main things you want. And then for your powers, the only ones you really need, because you don't really switch them out, except for your passives: Weapon Master, Bravery. Then you're going to want Takedown, Flourish, Indomitable Battle Strike. And then you're going to want Weapon Master Strike, only Weapon Master Strike and Short Strike. The reason for it is because Weapon Master Strike, all you do is you're going to put the debuff on them, so then your at-wills to do more damage. Also, what they're doing is, with the next patch, is they're going to increase the damage on Short Strike. So not only are we doing already stupid amount of damage, now we can tanky, we're also going to do more single target damage, because Short Strike's going to increase some damage. And then also with spinning, the reason why I have Spinning Strike on here is because I like to use the daily. I like to use the passive Steel Defense, and I like to switch it out with Weapon Master Strike. Give me 8 seconds and I'll show you why. But the whole point is, when you use Spinning Strike, like if I use right now Avalanche Steel, all my action points will go away from 100% to 0. Whereas Spinning Strike, it actually drains it. So when you do it, it's going to drain it, and then you sprint, but you're still going to get your passive proc for your Steel Defense. And what Steel Defense does, if you look at it real fast, powers: activating a daily power, becoming immune to damage for 3 seconds, and then if you get the other ones, it's 5 seconds total. So every time you do a Spinning Strike, at the end of it, if you sprint out of it, you get 5 seconds of no damage done to you. Now, Tenebris has a 7-second cooldown. So after you do your damage, and then you Spinning Strike, when you don't need, when you know you can't do that much damage because all your things are down, you use Spinning Strike and you sprint. Now you have 5 seconds where it's gonna be, where you take no damage. So your health's gonna stay as high as you can. Now, while you're getting hit, that will also build your determination. I'm not sure if that's a bug right now, but that's what happens. If you take, even though you're not taking damage to your health, you're still building determination because you're getting hit. Also, your action points will gain a little bit too if you get knocked down or CC'd. Also, then, that leaves you 2 seconds left. 2 seconds left with the proc. So then you just run around a little bit more because you have sprint. and then you come back and you use your flourish, takedown, or whatever, and activate your Tenebris again. Then you're gonna want to make sure you have Avalanche of Steel. Reason for it is if you ever get into a 1v1, if then you know they're not like it's like a rogue or like a control wizard, for instance, and they don't know how to dodge the landing of Avalanche Steel, you can jump on them. Then you can use your takedown, that flourish, and Abdominal Battle Strike, and right there they'll be killed. That's your 1v1 tactic right there. But if you don't want to use this little cheese where you use Steel Defense, then make sure you have Weapon Master Strike slotted. The reason for it is when you go to your feats, you're gonna want. I'll go down here. I'll show you why later. Toughness, you're gonna want to increase your health. Then you're gonna move to Discipline and Strength. You're gonna want to increase your strength. You're gonna want to make it 4% more. You're gonna get 4% more damage you get from it. Just gain a little bit, increases the damage you can. Then you're gonna want to make sure your encounters do 6% more damage than Endless Assault. You're gonna want to increase your armor class and your defense by 15%. You want to come in here and make sure your Constitution is going to be 15% more, because Constitution increases your health, so you want to make sure you can max your health as high as you can. Grit, just because if someone heals you, you get 3% of your temporary health. It makes you more tankier. And then I use this because if you do get knocked down, you'll take more damage because of combat advantage, but this is going to make it 15% less damage against you, just so you make yourself more tankier than you are right now. And then you're going to come up here, you're going to make sure you get Unstoppable Recovery. You gain 5% of your maximum health. That's actually about, I think, was it 5%? I think it's 8,000-ish, about 8,000 health. No, I'm not doing that right. I'm terrible at math. 5%, 600, 700, 800. It's a lot. Let's put it that way. It's a good amount. No, it's 1,200. I'm sorry, 1,200. So you're automatically, every time you use Unstoppable, you're gonna get 1,200. Plus, then you're gonna get your temporary hit points. And then when you get that, you're gonna want to go down to Flourish and make sure you have 1 second, 1 second longer at the end of the hit. Then your tankiness, you're gonna go down to Sentinel to get more tanky. Your critical strikes are gonna lower your defense by 15% for 5 seconds. It's gonna make you do a little bit more damage if you can crit on them. Deflect, you're gonna want 5% deflect. It makes you more tanky, of course. You're gonna skip these two. You're gonna come here, increase your sure strike. Now has an extra 5% chance to crit. Who cares about threat? Now, what weapon? This makes you really tanky right here. For Master Arms, furthering your ability to use weapon defensively. Each stack of Weapon Master now also grants 3% deflect chance, and having Weapon Master slotted increases your AC by 5. So just having this slotted, I'm getting 5 AC, right? Then, if I get the stacks up real fast, almost there, 5, and I go down here, I'm at 58.5% deflection. I was before the stack spell. So having that will make you more tankier, having a 60% chance to reduce 50% of the damage incoming. Then, of course, the last slot you're going to want is Sentinel Aegis. Increase the effectiveness of your defense stat by 20%. Actual stat, not just the mitigation, the actual stat by 20%. And causes Restoring Strike to heal an extra 50% for 3 seconds. If you want to go a little bit tanky, you can use Restoring Strike if you want. I don't like it. If you're going to use it, then replace Indomitable Strike with Restoring Strike. But keep these two for the CC/damage. And then the reason for it is to make you really tanky. That actually helps you a lot with your defense. Companions, you don't really need to worry about it due to the fact that you're not going to be using it. You don't use companions in PvP. But it's pretty much simple. You want to make sure like one hit right there, and it's going to proc. And then you're going to definitely want to stun him right after that, knock him down, and then do another Battle Strike. And actually the procs from Greater Plague Fire actually proc, as you just saw right there. Did an extra like 6,000. I think I have like a few things I didn't proc yet. Yeah, see, I didn't proc one. So just having a dot will actually proc. See the damage? It's unbelievable. You take no damage. You deal a lot of damage, and you probably won't die with the next patch due to the fact that right now you can 2v1 as a great weapon fighter if no one else, like, unless there was like, I've PvP'd before against a rogue and a guardian fighter, and the guardian fighter wasn't built with Tenebris. So I face rolled him. I went through his block and kept killing him. Your main focus would want to be his rogues and control wizards. They're really easy to burst down, because that little tiny burst you can do to them when you just one hit with her sure strike, and you just let the dots tick. And that's only sure strike doing all that damage right there. that makes you do so much damage to them. Now they when they went from offensive trying to kill you, now to automatically running away and trying to, and they're so scared of taking that much damage, because the next time you hit them one more time like this, they're dead. That's gonna be their whole health, because necrotics go through any deflect defense. It's just straight damage. It's like if League of Legends is like true damage. Even when rogues hit impossible to catch, it goes right through their impossible to catch and goes right through all that, and it goes straight to their health. The only thing I believe, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's kind of glitched where even if Soulforge is activated, it goes right through it. Because I've seen some rogues Soulforge and I just hit them once and they went right through and still kill them. I'm not sure if that's normal, if that's how necrotic's supposed to work, but it is working as it is right now. So that's mostly it. I think all this gear, I know Reaver Sword on my server is going for cheap. I know this is like 2,000. This is like 2,500. I believe these are like 20,000, 20,000. I think this is like 4,000. I think this is 10,000. Like, you just bought your whole left side for only like 50,000 Astral Diamonds. Then you come on your right side. I know these rings are about 800. I believe like 800,000. Belt was about 400,000. These were about 350. Then the neck was like 20,000. So overall, this whole gear without including the what you call it? Pardon me. The enchantments is a total around 1 million Astral Diamonds for your best PvP set. So I mean, when the patch comes out, I think there's gonna be a lot of changes to Great Weapon Fighter after they fix them. Because they're supposed to be increasing our damage. Because in my opinion, people are complaining too much about the Great Weapon Fighters not doing enough damage, even though they're not spec'd right. But I just think we're too strong. The only other classes I think that need a nerf for PvP would be Guardian Fighters, and then even rogues. My friend 1v1 me all the time as a rogue because he does Tenebra stack too, and all you do is, as a rogue, just a little pro tip, you go that invisible spec, that 100% invisible spec, and you go Cloud Steel and you just throw knives and let your Tenebra do all the work, and you can't be seen. You just sit there invisible killing everyone. Really needs to be nerfed. I've seen him take points and just stay there the whole time, and no one's able to cap it. But yeah, that's mostly the guide for the Great Weapon Fighter. If you have any questions, just message me with DJ Lovedrop at DJ Carry. Just add me on friends list. I'll put my handle on the in the description. Just message me. I'm on Dragon. I always answer questions. And if you have any other questions, if you want, comment on YouTube. And I usually get back in like 5